You guys know what these stand for? Yep, unique value proposition, or this is another way to say it. Anybody know? Unique selling proposition. Yeah, same thing. So value proposition or selling. For the sake of me not having to write it all out, take a while if you guys want to write that out. Unique value proposition, unique selling proposition. Okay, so what is it about your studio or your gym that makes you unique and something we can actually capitalize on? So, you know, when we talked about research, what was one of the things we learned about kickboxing that could be really valuable, considering one of their goals is gain muscle? It can increase testosterone. We learned that, right? Because what we learned was when we Googled benefits of kickboxing, you need the benefits of yoga, benefits of Pilates, whatever, benefits of kickboxing, combat training and hitting things actually can have a positive impact on your testosterone. Okay, now that you know that, cool, we have something. I got a chance, if you haven't seen it, I got a chance to interview Jordan Zimmerman. Man, what a smart guy. His agency is doing, it was at the time, I don't know where it's at now, but $4.4 billion a year. He's working with Nissan, he's working with McDonald's, John Deere, all these big companies, right? And so he talked about McDonald's. And I was like, what's like an example? And he said like McDonald's, for example. And I'm thinking in my head, yeah, like, what's your unique value proposition? Like everyone does the speedy system now. That's not even a unique value proposition anymore. It was, it's not anymore. And what could it be? A Happy Meal? A lot of people do the things at the end. You got the toys, you got stuff. What is it? And he goes, did you know that McDonald's is the only fast food style restaurant that actually serves a real egg for breakfast? Every other fast food breakfast or place that has breakfast, it's not actually even eggs. It's like powder or something like that. He goes, McDonald's is the only one that actually uses real eggs in their breakfast. And that made me think, because I actually like eating healthy, and I don't want to eat some powdered version of something that tastes like egg, but it's not, it's some just random chemicals or something. That was pretty cool to me. But that's an example of like, there's something. And sometimes you can even make it up. Have you guys seen Mad Men before? This show takes place back in, I think anywhere between the 40s and 60s, depending on. This was the time where I guess now they had to put the labels on the cigarettes that said, you can now, this will cause cancer. Now, imagine if like Loud Rumor had to put something on our website that said like, working with us will cause cancer. Like, that would suck. We would have a lot of work to do. So a lot of the cigarette companies were really upset by this, and they wanted to see proof. And of course the proof was visible. And so now they wouldn't know what to do. And so they hired agencies, and they hired this particular agency that Don Draper worked at. And he's the main creative director for the agency. And they enlisted them to be able to help them with this problem. And the way they wanted to go about it was battling the information. So basically arguing that it may not give you cancer. So showing proof and studies and stuff like that. And what they were saying is, we should just change the conversation. Instead of talking about cancer at all, we should just change the conversation. He goes, what do you mean? And he goes, walk me through the process. And if you listen to any Claude Hopkins stuff or Dave Ogilvy, this is what they do. He wants to know the process. He goes, walk me through the process of actually making cigarettes. And he goes, okay. And he goes, well, we got to go here, and then we got to do this field, and you get the hay, and you do this. And he goes through all these processes. And he's like, okay. And he goes, and then we toast. And he goes, wait, what? He's like, we toast. He's like, that's it. And he goes up and he writes, we're toasted. And he goes, everybody's is toasted. He goes, yeah, but we're the only ones talking about it. Basically saying, like, if we're the only ones talking about it, we're the only ones that do it to the public, right? But no matter what, everything we say, ours are toasted. We're toasted. Lucky Strikes, they're toasted. You're changing the conversation. You're not addressing the other thing. And by saying that, you sound unique. And they put this stuff everywhere, and it blew up, right? And so the same thing goes for us. What's a unique value proposition? What is it that you do that maybe other people, like HIIT training, can have a positive impact on afterburn, not Orange Theory. Orange Theory doesn't offer the afterburn or EPOC. Every HIIT style of exercise offers that. But who is the only one talking about it? Orange Theory. So what did we see Orange Theory do? Went right up to the top. So what can we include when we're talking to a studio? What questions can we ask? And if they don't have anything, which most of them aren't, most of them are just copycatting the place they were at before. So then we have to do some research like we did with I Love Kickboxing. Wow, this can have a positive impact on testosterone. We met with a couple scientists. They're actually going to be on the show. But we actually learned, I was talking to Matthew Dimes. So this guy, Matthew Dimes, he lives like in the same general community that I do. So anyway, we're going through different stuff. And he goes, yeah, he's like, I'm wanting to find a way to get my clients to come in like 5-6 days a week. And I'm like, why? And he goes, because I know if I can get a couple people to just get incredible results, then I can highlight those and I can do this and do that. Now, here's the thing. About a month ago, I would have been like, it's not a bad idea, just really accelerate the results for someone. Then I talked to the scientists, and then I got educated, informed. And what both scientists actually had said, one of them, and keep in mind, these aren't just like scientists like with the beakers and they're just making like stuff. These guys only study like HIIT training exercise. That's it. That's their focus. That's their research. And they both said that anybody over the age of 35 doing HIIT training at 100% level more than 3 days a week is going to have diminishing returns. Meaning they're now at the point where they can have a negative impact on their immune system. He said more likely they will have a negative impact. So you may notice you'll get sick more often, you'll have headaches, you'll be lethargic. Also, it can have a negative impact on their metabolism. It can have a negative impact on their mood. It can have a negative impact on their hormone distribution. And he just started listing off all these things. And he said, even the greatest athletes in the world don't go all out more than like 4 times a week. He's like, the other days a week, if you really look at what they're doing, they're going at like 40 to 60% and just going through the motions and getting stuff done. And they're recovering more than they are exercising. And if you look at what these pros are doing, that is what they're doing. They'll spend way more time recovering than actual 100% execution on exercise. And he said, if you can do like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday at about 100% effort, and then Tuesday, Thursday, if they go in, they just go 40, 50%. Their goal is just to kind of get movement, get the joints moving, but they're not breathing hard. They're not getting their heart rate up too high, or just do yoga or Pilates. That would be a lot better. So I shared this with them because in my mind, I'm thinking, well, your goal is my goal, and your goal is to have some results to keep them. And if you're going to have these people, one of them, he said it was like late 40s. That's older than 35 by a lot, right? And so I'm like, you're going to have this guy come in and work out 5 to 6 days a week at 100% capacity. You might kill this guy. Or he might just stop coming because he's sore, I'm sick, I can't come in this week, whatever it is. His metabolism is worse. So I'm thinking, look, your job is to get these people results as fast as possible. That plan's not going to get him there. That's actually the opposite. So I explained it to him. He's like, man, thank you so much. That was super helpful. He's like, yeah. He's like, and that's easier because people that age, it's hard for them to get in 4, 5, 6 days a week. So I was like really like getting them to do it. And it was hard. 3 days a week, they can commit to that. And I was like, great. But that's just an example of like what kind of research can be done to really understand how to sell this, how to get the most use out of it. Because what he said is, they'll be happier to hear that they only have to come in 3 days a week and get better results, meaning it's easier to sell them. So think about when you're doing research, there's stuff that's on the front that like the Volo Fit, they were the only ones in the area that had a childcare. Nobody else has childcare, right? Are you open on Sundays? Are you open Saturdays? Do you have some sort of like technology that you use, like Orange Theory had the technology, right, that you use that's a little bit better? Do you have body fat tests? Do you have measurements? What is it that you do that's a little bit more unique? And if you can't find anything because you're just copycatting somebody else, well then what is it about the style, whether it was HIIT, whether it's yoga, whether it's Pilates? Justin, when we did some research on Pilates, we found some celebrities. What are some of the celebrities that base Pilates, saying that it's like one of the more fundamental parts of their fitness routine? Tom Brady, Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Serena Williams, Gal Gadot, J-Lo, right? Now some of you guys here, for the guys, when you heard Tom Brady and Cristiano Ronaldo and what was the other one? LeBron James. How many of you guys go, maybe I should think about Pilates? It's not a bad idea. What got me to be open to it was Kobe did it, right? And then for the girls, how many of you guys heard Gal Gadot, J-Lo, was it Sofia Vergara, I think was one of them, Serena Williams. How many of you girls are going, maybe I should take a look at it? That sounds pretty cool, right? That's credibility. That's very cool to inject. Want to know what blah, blah, blah are doing to keep in shape? You know, so we were able to kind of identify that and start looking. So knowing what is it about this particular fitness style that stands out that we can start using.